Hello, Sabrina Alery here with a video tutorial for Clearsnap, and today we're going to be creating a home decor piece that looks like this. It's sort of a paper party ball, something that you can hang with your tissue paper pom-poms and your Chinese lanterns. Just something that is going to give a little bit of extra color and pop and interest to your display. And to create this, we're going to be using the Jumbo Rollagraph wheel. This is the column relief design, and I'm using this with the self-inking tool. The cartridges we'll be using in the tool are Saffron, Coal Black, and Primrose. These are dye inks. And then we'll also be using the Colorbox Premium Dye Inks designed by Stephanie Barnard with Tangerine, Banana, and Guava. To do a little distressing, we'll be using the Decades Dye Ink. This is designed for Graphic 45. We have Charcoal Glitter, the Memory Essentials tool, and foam pad. We're using that to apply the Decades ink. You'll also need the Fringed Flower Die by Sizzix, designed by Eileen Hall. I'm using a stamp set from Hero Arts. And then to finish this off, you'll also need a hot glue gun, some liquid glue or glue gloss, and you'll also need some toothpicks and glass beads to assemble the flower. And then we'll be applying everything to a big floral foam ball. So let's get started. So here's just one more peek at what we're going to be creating, and you can see all this open area that we still have to fill in. You're going to want to probably create these in an assembly line fashion. I'm just going to show you how to create one flower petal, one piece. So we have the small, medium, and large die petals here, and then I'm going to be stamping a flower image into the center of each design. I'm using the Colorbox Premium Dye Inks by Stephanie Barnard, which are really rich, vibrant colors. They're some of my favorite products. We have the Guava, Tangerine, and then Banana here on the smallest leaf. I've also stamped those same images onto some scrap paper and cut those out to use as masks. And then we're going to be using the Column Relief Jumbo Rollagraph stamp wheel to create the background here. If you've never used the self-inking cartridge, then you just take your ink cartridge here, the self-inking handle, I'm sorry, pop your ink cartridge in the bottom, snap in your Rollagraph wheel, and then you want to pop up the cartridge with your thumb. You can roll that right on to get a nice even coverage. I'm using the Coal Black, the Saffron, and then the Primrose colors of these dye inks. And one of the really great things about the Rollagraph wheel, of course it's really easy to use, but the circumference of the wheel on both the jumbo and the regular sizes is 7.5 inches. So you have a lot of stamp room to work with. And then the Jumbo Rollagraph wheel is of course 2 inches wide, so on a smaller project like this it doesn't matter, but when you're using the tool, or even if you're the self-inking handle, or if you're just using the Memory Essentials Get Rolling tool, you really have a lot of area to stamp with, and it makes it really easy on a project where you're doing assembly line fashion like this. You don't have to continue re-stamping and inking your wheel up. It just works out for you, makes it go a lot faster. And then one final image on the bottom. I'm just washing the wheel with water in between each color change, and that's no problem. It doesn't dilute or mess with the color at all in any way. Now the next step is we're going to create the center for these flowers and the stick to go on. I've just glued a glass bead onto a regular household kitchen toothpick, and then we're going to layer that up with some liquid glue. Glue gloss would work really great here to get a nice even coverage onto the bead. And then I'm going to be dipping this into the charcoal glitter, which is a really pretty grayish, blackish color of glitter. Just want to roll that around in there to make sure you get really even coverage. And then I'm going to set that aside to completely dry. To give a little bit more dimension to our petals, I'm using the Decades ink here in Venetian lace. I think this is like the perfect distressing vintagey color. And then I'm just going to apply that color with the Memory Essentials tool and then the round foam pad to get a nice even coverage. I like to start sort of on the outside of the paper and work my way up to create the most realistic look. And then just use your fingers to sort of manipulate those fringed flowers and that'll give it some more dimension, a little more lifelike. Each one of those. And I'd say to complete this project you're going to need about 45 to 50 of these individual pieces. And that went on, I think, a 4 to 5 inch foam dot. So I'm just going to stick a dab of hot glue into the center of each flower petal, and then I'm going to adhere that to the toothpick, the small, medium, and then large colors, and that hot glue is really going to help everything stay in place. Kind of wrap that around to give it a more realistic look. And when we're finished with that, you're going to take your foam ball, and then I'm going to apply some hot glue to the end of this, because that's really going to help it stay in the foam. The foam is kind of finicky, and I think over time the toothpicks would just slip right out. And then you're going to want to create all of the rest of these to fill in the open area, and that will finish your project out. Just hang it in the center with a string. Thank you so much for joining me today. For more ideas and inspiration, please visit clearsnap.blogspot.com, and for product information, please visit www.clearsnap.com.